sort of, you know, just like me doing this. Hey guys, Shavzi here, and today I'm gonna go through some ways you can deal with writer's block, or different situations you might get writer's block, and how that occurs, for me at least, and therefore help you figure out how you can get rid of your writer's block if it occurs. Now, writer's block can happen for anything from poetry to essay writing to novel writing to shorts to just a full-on creative block in general with like art and film and anything. What I find incredibly useful especially is just taking a break. That tends to be a good, you know, just all around the board, just taking a break can definitely help clear your creative mind and get rid of any creative/writing block that you have. The first scenario I'm gonna go over is just writer's block, you know. This scenario is when you have a project that you're working on and you just can't get anywhere further than what you are. Now, often at times this is because something you've previously done is not working for you, or something that you plan to do doesn't fit right, and this can happen a lot. I've been through it multiple times. The best way to deal with this, I find, is to take a break from the project and work on something else. Now, this is where really good things like writing prompts can come into play, where you can pick apart these prompts and sort of mush them and just get your creative flow working. My general rule of thumb is just write. Don't not write. Just get something down on paper. Just be open-minded. Don't care about anyone else, because after all, you write for yourself, no one else. You just sit down, open mind, and you just write. And if you can't really think of anything, which is what I'm going to get to later, look up a prompt. Prompts can be really good to get your creative juices flowing. In other creative medias, I'm not sure. I guess for art you just draw, for film you just do something funny, maybe you go onto YouTube and start vlogging. The second scenario is when you don't know what to write at all. So what I was talking about earlier, you just look at a blank piece of paper and you can't get it. There's just this blank piece of paper there and you can't think about what to write down. Now, this has happened to everyone, literally everyone. What you can do is prompts. Like I said, prompts are amazing. I have gone through many great prompts. Like a lot of great prompts. Prompts are one of the best things to use. Like, oh, I wrote this amazing story about magic not that long ago from a prompt. The prompt was a sentence prompt, where it's a sentence that could either be in the story or said by someone. And that set off a brilliant chain of events where this story developed into something so amazing, and I am definitely going to use it one day. Like, it's that good. Another thing that might be good for when you have nothing to write about is just write about you. Write about your daily life. Because that works, I guess. You can just write. I mean, you can be like, today I ate a rotten banana and I didn't know it was rotten. I hate bananas anyway, but, you know, you can be like, today I took my dog to the vet and it was incredibly nerve-wracking, but they turned out alright. Those, I'm a bit iffy about them. They're more like Dear Diary type of stuff, bland, no meat on the bone type of thing. From that you can be like, as I rode to the vet, my heart pounded in my chest and my lungs contracted. I felt like crying. My entire throat was constricting because I was so afraid that they were gonna have something happen to them. Then you can like describe the vet, you can describe what happens, you can describe the feeling, and then at the end you can be like, but it was all okay. They were fine. Everything was fine again. You see what I mean? Just writing about your life, not in the boring 3-word sense, but in the bigger sort of meat on the bones, feelings, intensity sense, that can really get your creative juices out there and on the paper. Which sounds entirely gross. It's like you're regurgitating on there with creative juices. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Something else, another situation that I have come across is definitely character block. Oh my god, the number of times I've been blocked by certain characters, it's intense. Like, you just want to write, but the characters won't do what you want them to, and they don't feel right. This is one of the worst type of writer's block I have ever gotten, because you're writing and it's okay, but it's not right. It's so frustrating because you don't know how to make it right because you're having this type of creative block. What I would do is, again, take a break, stop, just not even, sometimes don't even write for a while. My main thing, and I want to stress this a lot, is technology blocks creativity. This is so important. It may not seem like it, but technology blocks creativity so bad. When I'm stressed, I don't read. My creativity and my creative mind struggles to churn like rusted clogs in a tower, because I legitimately am spending so much time on technology because I'm not reading. So I'm on YouTube, I'm on random websites, I'm staring at a computer screen almost all hours of the day, I'm on my phone at night. It really clogs up your head. And it's really difficult once you've stopped reading for a long period of time and just been on technology and had this creative mind block that causes you to write strangely and sometimes not write at all. It's really difficult to get out of that because you're just stuck in this continuous habit of not reading, not writing, struggling to write when you try, and just always on your phone and computer. It's intense. And it's awful. The way I've gotten out of it in the past is, instead of watching mainstream YouTube videos, you watch something creative. A short film, an art piece, some writing tips. You watch something creative on YouTube. You go to creative sites. You start slowly building up that creativity, but you also cut yourself off from technology to a degree. If you're on your technology, you're doing something creative. If you're not on technology, you're drawing, you're trying to read again. If you're struggling to read a lot, go back to a book, an old book that you love, a childhood favorite like Percy Jackson or Harry Potter. Just choose something and read, because reading really opens up that writer's mind, and what you read affects what you write a lot. So if you're currently struggling with a character in fantasy, these books are great. But if you're struggling with a character in a more realistic or romantic sense, go for John Green, or I don't know, who else is there? John Green, any other realistic writer. Wendy Mass. She's one of my favourites, although hers can be a bit iffy in terms of realism in some cases, but a lot of the time they are. Anyway, what's important when reading is you are reading something you like. Don't force yourself to read something you don't like. I have tried, and that blocks creativity again. Because if you're forcing yourself to read something you don't like, then your brain is going to be forcing itself to write in a style that you are not familiar with, or it'll feel like it's being forced. Because your brain will be blocking that creativity side of you just in order to read this weird book. It blocks everything up. It's like clogging a tube. It's like clogging anything. What's really brilliant that I've tried before when I've had writer's block is writing on paper. And I know this sounds weird, but writing on paper, especially, is that you don't worry about spelling, don't worry about grammar, don't even worry about the story, just sort of write something on paper. If you're a paper writer, I don't know, try a laptop. I doubt it'll work, but try something. If you're not a paper writer and you're having this issue, writing on paper can really open up that creative mind. Try different handwriting techniques. I really feel my creative mind open and my heart open and everything open when I'm doing cursive writing with really loopy letters. So like, you draw your Y's like this. Well, that's backwards for you, like this. You draw your G's like this. That was the wrong way. You draw your G's like this. Like doing it right before. Anyway, cursive writing helps me. Sometimes writing on a whiteboard or a chalkboard can also really open up those senses. Doing something out of the ordinary, for me, works really well to so that happened. I actually just filmed an about 20-minute video and half of it cut off. Yeah. Probably not 20 minutes, probably like 15 minutes. Anyway, from where it left off, doing something out of the ordinary for me really opens up your senses. So if you just do something that you don't normally do in your daily life, that writer's block will almost disappear because your entire body will be thinking about doing that thing and how odd it is, and you can then describe what it feels like and what it's like, and not being you really helps. What also helps me is if you're writing a screenplay or just writing in first person, or you're writing a script, or if you're writing in third person even, this can be good, is getting your character voice correct. So reading aloud. If you're doing a script sort of setting, picturing what it looks like and how the actors play it out and what they sound like, etc. That really helps if you get stuck at a certain point or you get stuck with a character. In first person, it's super important to get this right because the character voice is what connects the reader. If you're not getting your character voice right, the reader won't be able to connect with the book. It'll separate them. It's like just shoving this is a book and not real life in front of their face. Sort of, you know, just like me doing this. This is a book and not real life. Like, hi guys! It doesn't feel real. So if I talk to you with my hands in front of my face, you can barely understand me. You can't see me, you can't connect to me, but now you can. It's exactly like that. Not getting your character voice right creates this barrier between them and the audience, where they are aware that it's not a real human, or they're aware that they're separated from them. It just makes them aware. In third person, it's also important to get your character voice right, although when you're reading it aloud, you may like to try putting on a more neutral or narrator voice when you're reading the in-between bits to the character voices when there's thoughts or spoken words, because those will obviously sound like the character and not like you. Separating these is what I find very important. So you separate them and it sounds better. I don't know if any of you feel that way, but it just sounds better to me. In poetry, if you're getting a creative block in poetry, I find it really important to read poetry, especially rhyming. Look up rhyming words, read some Dr. Seuss, it's that simple. You just read some poetry and some stuff and your entire mind will be churning in that sort of degree. That definitely works with other things as well, you know, reading to your genre. That works extremely well. Oh, what else could you do? With writer's block. Okay, let's... Righty, so what has happened is it has again cut me off. I think the SD card is running out of space, so I will make this quick. Writer's block is really, really difficult to get through, and I really hope that these tips and tricks have helped you. I think the biggest ones is stress blocks creativity, technology can block creativity sometimes, and the biggest thing about this is taking a break, putting yourself away from the situation and just relaxing, because the creative mind does not work under stress or by force. Yes, I really hope that these could have helped you, and if they haven't, I'm sorry. As usual, I'm Shavzi, and know that you're all beautiful, wonderful people that are loved, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.